There was a boy, his name was Yura. He was an ordinary child, like many children. Yura went to school, did his homework, smoked, drank beer behind the garage, stole money from his parents, hooliganized, hand-whored, swore and sat at the computer for hours. One day his grandfather caught him stealing again. Yura was upset. His grandfather sat down on the sofa and invited Yura to sit next to him. "I won't tell my father and mother anything, and I'll even give you money. But first, I'll tell you a story. I was a little boy too, and often did bad things, but one day my father caught me stealing, just like in your case, and putting me on the sofa, told me this. Once upon a time, there was a family. Everyone was happy until one day, the happy family's young son went into his father's pocket for money. The devil knows what got into his head, but before he could rejoice, he was caught. The father grabbed his son by the arm and dragged him into the kitchen. He put a stool, took out a huge knife from the cabinet and put the boy's hand on the stool. Then he asked loud and clear, "What were you looking for in my pocket?" The boy began to cry, tears streamed down his rosy cheeks. He shouted, "Daddy, I wanted to take some money. A little money." Then the strict father swung around and cut off the boy's thumb. "A little money, couldn't you ask?" And swung again and stabbed the boy's index finger. Blood splattered all over the place. The boy was terrified and started screaming so loudly that all the neighbors came. He screamed, and the father kept shaking the boy while repeating, "You took someone else's. Take it back. Son of a bitch, stealing from your own father. I earned this damned money with my hump, and you steal." People ran in and rescued the child. From then on, the boy never stole again. His father went to jail, but then he was released. But that wasn't the end of it. The boy grew up. He got married, had a son. Everything was great, but one day he noticed that money started to disappear from his pocket. So the father decided to conduct an experiment, as he suspected his son of stealing. Hung his jacket and wallet on the back of a chair and left the room. Immediately his son appeared and reached into his jacket pocket. The father saw this and anger flared up inside him. He wanted to teach the rascal a lesson for stealing. Silently grabbing the same huge knife, the father suddenly ran into the room, which was a shock to his son. He howled, "Pa, I'll explain everything." He threw his wallet away and backed away. "You don't need to explain anything. I'm going to wean you from stealing once and for all." He also cold-bloodedly cut off 2 fingers on the boy's left hand so that he could write a caring father. Only the boy couldn't scream. He covered his mouth tightly with his hand. Then it was all an accident. The boy never admitted that his own father had chopped off his fingers. Although the neighbors took it with some apprehension, the father had no fingers and neither did the son. Rumors began to spread and they left the place. The boy Yura turned green with horror. He swore to his grandfather that he would not steal anymore. He wanted to go, but suddenly he froze. Putting his head down, he looked at his grandfather's hands. On his right hand his grandfather was missing 2 fingers, thumb and forefinger. "Why aren't you coming, grandson?" asked the grandfather. The boy was shaking all over. Then the boy's father came into the room with a big knife in his hand. The boy paid attention to his father's hands and saw the same picture on his father's left hand. The boy ran out of the room without saying a word. The father looked at him, then looked at the old man and asked, "What is he doing?" "I caught him stealing now. You know what to do." "Yes, father."